It's Tuesday, March 19th, Wednesday, March 20th. If you're on the East Coast, across the pond, or down under, and this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North on top of the mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Deep Talk Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. Go shopping at our Spaced Out Radio store because it's a great way to support what we do. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel in Suho. Sebastian Martin brings high-quality messages to the masses. Head to our website, click on the In Suho banner, and subscribe today. One of the subjects we have all thought about in this wonderment of the paranormal is time travel. Is it real? We've heard of people like Andrew Bashago or John Teeter with their bold and potentially outlandish claims that they've traveled back in time to see parts of history. Is this true? The reality is, we don't know, unless we are in their shoes. Some people who astral travel also have made these types of claims, but is it real? Does it happen? Augie Nost, a consciousness researcher, joins us to talk about this interesting thought, time travel. Would you do it? I know I sure would. But would you go back or back to the future? And we're going to get into a lot more with Augie as well. Then in the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Augie Nost, welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time. What a pleasure it is to have you here. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me here. This is going to be so fun that it probably is illegal.
Well, I hope so. You never, is anything that's fun not illegal? I mean, let's just
I know.
Let's be honest there, my friend. Now, you are someone who is very well versed in the consciousness aspect, astral, extraterrestrials, time travel. There is a plethora of topics that you have studied over the years. And right during the break, you actually told me, and I was a little bit blown away by this, that you're 73 years old and you have no reason or even want to slow down. So I got to ask you, how did you get started in all of this, Augie?
Oh, gosh, I got to go back I live in Tucson, Arizona in the United States now, but I was born and raised in Norway, in Northern Europe. And I think the start of it all started when I was a little kid, probably, maybe around 10, something like that, because I started reading newspapers when I was 3-4 years old. But I found some very interesting articles about some flying discs that the Germans had built in the local newspapers. And that put me out a little bit because I didn't understand. I looked at airplanes and they don't look that way. And I think I probably stepped out of the box. And by now I'm so far out of the box I don't even know where the box is anymore. But I also, when I was about 12 years old, I built a UFO detector that worked, and I saw some things. So I stepped out of the box really early, and from there on, it's never really stopped, except, well, I guess for about 23 years in the United States here, I was playing the business game in the aviation, and I didn't do much, but after I retired from that, then I got back into both radio and mind research and things like that. So I plan to be around for another, a long time.
Well, that's good. That's good, because a long time means you can come back in the future, unless you've already predicted that from time travel.
Yeah.
And you can come back and be a guest, and let me know how my hair looks, if you don't mind. If you're going that far into the future, let me know how my hair looks. I would appreciate that. But Augie, in regards to, we're going to get into a lot of subjects tonight, but let's start with humanity and consciousness, because the word consciousness over the last 2 years has seemed to really erupt in popularity. We're a lot more spiritualists out there. are starting to delve into the depths of what it actually means, what's it all about. I mean, this topic goes from your own spiritual self to people claiming that they are flying UFO ships on consciousness alone, even though they've never been in the pilot seat of an aircraft before. There's a lot going on with this topic.
Yeah, there is. And consciousness is a term that is used a lot, but really very few people actually understand what it really is. And I think it goes, let's just talk about the universe itself, which is consciousness. So the universe itself, I know there are people in quantum physics right now that say they don't think the whole universe even exists until somebody observes it or think of it. Then we think it into existence. So, with other words, we create our reality. And the universe around us is created by consciousness. The consciousness of the universal consciousness, which our offshoot off of that is. And I tell you what, let me ask you and the listeners a question. Sure. And let me set the stage so you will better understand the question. And that is that for the last 300 years or so, at least since Newton, we've been told that matter and energy cannot be created from nothing. But now we got a problem. The theoretical physicists now, they're saying that their equations on the blackboard show that this universe was created from nothing. And if this whole universe was created from nothing, and you are in this universe created from nothing, what are you?
Well, what are we?
I paused on purpose there because I wanted you to think. Could it be that we're nothing? Nothing physical, that is, because you see stuff around you. You know, you were walking outside the other, you stubbed your toe and that hurt. So there is something here, but there is an analogy that I want to explain. And that is that, yeah, we may actually, in quantum mechanics, it may sound like we are nothing physical. But let's say I'm a hypnotist. And if I put you in a soft chair and talk to you for 10, 15 minutes, and I tell you that when you wake up, you will see an elephant standing next to you in the room. And if I did my job right, I snapped my finger and brought you back out, you would see that elephant. You could reach out and touch the snout on it. You feel the rough texture of the skin. You can hear him breathing. You can smell him. Doesn't smell very good. So if that's the case from just hypnosis, what happened to your real world right now? Did it go away? This is what the mind can do. And I use self-hypnosis. I don't hypnotize other people all much anymore. In fact, it's been quite a while. But self-hypnosis I do all the time, and we can do some amazing things with it. But the thing about it is that once we find out that, yes, quantum mechanics is right, we live in a mind-created universe. And if that's the case, our mind creates everything we see around us, everything we experience, everything we do. And what we are in the physical, including our brain, is mind-created. It's not our brain that has the intelligence. It is only, the brain is kind of like the computer. The mind is the computer programming that is laid on top of the computer to make it do what it does. That make any sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense in regards to it. But it's easy to say, but it's hard for people to believe, Augie.
Oh, yeah, it is. Boy, I had a tough time. I've been studying quantum mechanics, so it opens up a little bit once you start studying a little bit. And it's starting to make sense, especially if you look into the experiments that they're doing that show that a future event can give a reaction in the past. I read today that IBM in Minneapolis, Minnesota they were experimenting with a quantum computer, and they were able to reverse time. That was in a major publication.
Absolutely.
So this is coming. We finally start hitting the main street now with the fact that we are in a mind-created universe, and time does not only go in one direction, coming from the past, passing through the present, and disappearing into the future. It's not the way it is. Time is a mind construct. Outside of the physical, I would say mostly outside of the physical, time and space as we know it does not exist. And if we talk about time, I might as well define what time is. First of all, we have said that we live in a three-dimensional universe, right? Well,
yes.
No, we aren't. We live in a four-dimensional universe. 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. And now we have a box. And nothing happens in that box unless you add the 4th dimension to it, which is time, in the physical. And I had an incredible experience about 4.5 years ago, close to 5 years ago, where I had a universal download and the universe was explained to me. And what I saw in there, kind of like similar what Nikola Tesla said. He said, I saw the past, present, and future at the same time. It was somewhat similar. And I saw time as it was laid out. It was a present moment stacked behind a present moment, stacked behind another present moment, stacked behind a present moment. And between those present moments, the quantum field that created the present moments collapsed, so there were nothing. And then it recreated itself with a new present moment, and it collapsed to nothing again, and then it recreated itself. And all these present moments, they were stacked so close, and it was going so fast, it all looks like a continuous flow to us. In fact, for you electronic experts out there, you have electronic equipment that will do exactly that. You can get a spike, and the spike collapses to nothing, and then you get another spike, and it collapses to nothing. This is not unique in nature. Some of the sciences show expressions of this.
Now, in regards to your theories that you have here, have you ever discussed this with any physicist or astrophysicist to try and see if what you have learned from your own spiritual study on consciousness actually coincides with anything scientific?
Yeah, there are many different theories. Some of them parallel what I talk about, and the one about the present moments collapsing and then rebuilding itself, that is actually that is supported by the Russian theoretical physicist that talks about that, and I think there are others probably now that's coming around to it. And it's not that hard to actually believe, because if you look at electronics, we have these kinds of concepts. So I can believe that it could be understood that way.
So with the mind and with time, because if I recall, humans are the only ones that actually work on time, whether it's life, whether it's sporting events, whether it's schools, anything, our workday, everything is based on time. And yet we don't see nature doing that. We don't see animals doing that, mammals. We're the only ones. Has the concept of time really pushed humanity to the level it's at right now, where everything is moving so fast? You know, life is moving right before the blink of an eye. Like, I can't believe I'm 45 years old when I feel like I'm 25, and much like you're 73, you probably feel still 35 years old.
Oh, absolutely. 35, that's when I had most fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So with time being that concept, how do we get people to forget time in order to just relax and enjoy?
I think that's, again, it's a construct of how we think. And I meditate every day, and that helps me to center myself so that I remember what's important. Because the people that work as much as I do, unless they take care of their mind and take care of their body, they're going to run themselves in the ground. So I would say that it is all in our thinking, because everything starts in the mind. So if we think that, oh man, I got this deadline, the stress will run you down. I don't have stress. I don't believe in it. It's not in my reality. And I take 20 minutes in the morning. Well, sometimes I cheat on that, but I do the best I can. And I take a 2-minute meditation several times during the day, where I close my mind and everything goes dark and just totally empty in my mind for a couple of minutes. And then I come back, and that is enough to exercise that channel from the conscious mind through the subconscious mind to the universal mind. So you can exercise that channel where you can get information and resources coming back from that universal storehouse of creative energies out there, or maybe in there, all the way up to conscious understanding and into your physical existence. But it's important. Meditation is the gateway to higher consciousness. That's what I have found.
In regards, Augie, to time, and we're going to get into the, time travel a little bit later in the show, but in regards to time, though, do we rely too much on it, especially with our own spiritual journey that each and every one of us is on, even though the majority of society out there really hasn't bought into that aspect?
Oh, absolutely. We are, most people, it doesn't matter what they do, most people are hanging in the clock string. They're just, and I catch myself at it too. And, it's this stuff that I need to do, and there's a time attached to that stuff. So you just got to go by it. But you don't have to let it be so omnipotent over you that you stress over it. You can plan ahead and make it just flow through the day. And that I'm able to do through meditation. By planning the day, I'll get up in the morning, and I know what I need to do during the day for the most. And then I plan each event so that as I go through the day, I just go through what I planned, and it flows easier. That works for me.
But does it work for everybody, though? Because everybody has troubles finding their own time to spend 5 minutes in life to have a quality bathroom break or shower.
Yeah, but then I have a saying due to that one. It's in regard to meditation. Everybody should meditate for 20 minutes a day. And if you're too busy to do that, you need to meditate an hour. I think you probably get the idea behind that one, because if you are too busy for 20 minutes, you need to do it.
Or you be like Dave and just fall asleep when you finally have that time.
That might work.
Yes, that for our audience, that happened today. I literally sat down on my couch for 5 minutes just to kind of catch my breath. The next thing I know, it's 95 minutes later. Mm-hmm. Wow. I hate when that happens. But nonetheless, we only got a couple minutes before we have to go to break here at the bottom of the hour, about 3 minutes to be exact. Augie, in regards to the consciousness aspect and meditation, when we think of meditation and people doing it, we think that we got to be surrounded by candles or sitting on our bed and chanting music type playing in the background. It really isn't about that. It's really about just taking the time to find that peace and quiet within yourself, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. If the candles and the music behind you works for you, wonderful. Keep doing it. I don't do it, but I can meditate anywhere. I can be walking down the street and meditate. My mind goes blank and I just go on autopilot. Well, that's easy for me to say I am a pilot. But you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly with what you're meaning there. But in regards to the consciousness aspect, where are we finding that energy? Where are we finding that? Is it in the soul? Is it in the brain? Where is it hiding?
Oh, that's a good one. The consciousness is what creates everything you are and you do and around you and your existence in the physical. So it is the consciousness that is creating all that, and we can direct it because we can direct what our consciousness should do. And most people, they plan their vacation better than they plan their life. When you go on vacation, you plan everything. Which hotel you're going to stand on? People, a lot of times, they don't even plan their life that way. They should lay it out beforehand and then work on it. And that's one thing that I'm going to get into after the break, because there is a phenomenal tool in there that can be used. And I've used it, and I've done some really great things with it.
Well, I'm very curious to see how that's going to go in regards to it, because I've always kind of thought that it was all about the soul.
The soul is an energy embedded in the universal consciousness. We are given an individualized spark of life. That's basically our soul. And that one stays with us in this incarnation. When we go back to the source, we have a review of what we did. What did you screw up? What did you do right? And then there is this is what I've seen, and that's there's some entities out there called the guardians of the soul, and we review what we learned. And for each incarnation that we go back to, we learn more and more and more until we get to a point or in a level of spiritual capacity, to the point where we no longer need to come back and learn things in the physical existence, and we can learn other places. And
Augie, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, my friend, because we're going to get ready to step out, and we're going to hit it up right after the break with Augie Nost. Brain versus soul when it comes to consciousness. Where do you stand on it? Let us know if you're in one of the chat rooms. I'll bring it up with Augie. Space Out Radio tonight, talking time travel, consciousness, and so much more. We're going to have a lot of fun with Augie Nost. His website, Augie-Nost.com, if you want to check it out. We'll be back with the second half hour right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject, from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hi, George Norrie here. Are you ready for UFO MegaCon, the immersion event? 7 days, 8 nights, 50 new speakers, UFO military witnesses, experiencer groups, skywatches, and so much more. Join me at UFO MegaCon, March 24th through the 30th in Laughlin, Nevada. Truly the one and only new information conference of the year. Now check it out at UFOMegaCon.com. That's UFOMegaCon.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We're talking time travel with Augie Nost tonight. Before we bring Augie back in, I want to remind all of you a great way to support this show is to be like Tracy. Head over to our Spaced Out Radio store and go to our website, click on the shop tab. She picked herself up a coffee mug earlier today. Really appreciate that, Tracy. Thank you so much. You can pick up T-shirts, hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, socks, and so much more. It's a great way to support what we do on a nightly basis. It's your turn now, all of you out there. Tonight we are talking, once again, time travel. Augie Nost is our guest tonight. His website, I'm going to spell it out for you. Augie is spelled A-A-G-E, then a dash, and then Nost, Nost.com. So Augie-Nost.com. If you want to check out his site, I highly suggest you do. Augie, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's going to be fun.
Now, right before the break, you wanted to get a little bit more in depth in regards to the question I asked you regarding consciousness, whether it comes from the brain or the soul. Take us for a journey here.
Well, the consciousness is the overall intelligent energy that makes up the universe. And you can call it anything you want. You can call it God or anything. That is what it is. Now, we are an individualized spark of life that is not ejected, but a part of that. And that has an individualized intelligence of its own that is a curious intelligence that wants to experience and do things. So it wants experiences in the physical because it doesn't have a physical body. So when it comes to the soul or the spark of life, there is no such thing as bad experiences or good experiences. There is just experiences. And that is why that some of the stuff that we're going through is an experience that the soul wants to have. Even though we don't think much of it, in fact, we would hate it sometimes, it is an experience for the soul to learn from. And I also learned that I've had a lot of garbage happening in my life, but good things came out of it. In fact, I had one negative experience, and what came from that is 2 books. So some good things come out of it. Sometimes in the negative things that is going on, it's a part of the spark of light's way to guide you through the experiences that you have agreed to be part of. Because some of the stuff that happens to us was agreed to before we took on the body and started our physical life experience, so to speak.
See, for a lot of people, though, Augie, that's a tough one for people to understand, because to say that there was some sort of contract or that you signed before you came into incarnation, that would mean that there is an afterlife or a pre-life or reincarnation, as the Hindu religion talks about. I mean, there's a lot going on with that one little comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of Christian religions, they don't believe in that. But of course, in the Christian the religion all the way up to the year 325, when they wrote the first draft of the Bible, reincarnation was a common known fact. They talked about, well, he was so and so before this life, and spiritual people talked about it. But at that meeting in 325, they threw that out, or they didn't want that because it took away from the power structure, and we don't really need to go there. But there is so much evidence to the fact that people come back with memories of previous existences. And when those memories are checked up on, it matches. So there is a lot of those experiences. So there is something to that. Actually, it can be proven if you want to go and look at those things. But the agreement that we make is before we take on the body is for the purpose of the advancement of the soul. It is not for the purpose of the body, because that will go away and our physical existence will disappear. But it is for the purpose of the growth of the capacity of the spiritual capacity of the soul, to a point where it no longer need to do these physical incarnations. And sometimes we have a lot of them because maybe we have a lot to learn. I have gone back. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. How do we know we're complete our physical incarnations? What has to happen there?
Well, there are some people that have accidents and die in them, and there are accidents spiritually also. It does happen because we hear people that die on the operating table, and they go through this tunnel, and some relative or somebody at the other end come towards them and say, hey, you can't come here, it's not your time yet, you got to go back. There is many, many people that come back with that specific instruction. And then they wake up on the operating table, or wherever they died, they come back and they continue their life. So there is something on the other side. And there is one incident also that a doctor wrote about, and he said he had somebody on the operating table. The guy died, and he came back. They revived him, and the guy said, well, I found myself out of the body. I went through the roof, and he said there was a pair of sneakers laying up on the roof next to a vent, and he described it to him. The doctor said, yeah, sure. So he went up on the roof, and there were the sneakers. So there is evidence to this if we want to look at it. It's just almost like UFOs. I have a saying there too, and that is, if the UFOs and these kinds of experiences was taken into a court of law and adjudicated before a judge and a jury, there would have been a hanging a long time ago.
Yeah, I think we would all agree on that. Normally, I don't get to audience questions until the second hour, but we're really piling up here in regards to the consciousness aspect. Do you mind if I ask a few on behalf of our audience?
Sure. I'll do my best.
Wonderful. Kat is asking, Augie, I believe humanity is trapped in itself in a bootstrap to avoid extinction. What is your thoughts on that?
If humanity is trapped in itself to avoid extinction?
Yes.
Oh, boy, I'm not so sure I understand the question. You mean we're trapped on Earth?
Yes.
Or trapped from thinking further ahead to avoid? What did she mean there? I know.
I think it could go both ways, to be honest.
Well, there is a... it's not called the prison planet for nothing, because there is a grid. And NASA even found that there is a grid out there, and they don't know how it got there because it shouldn't be there. So, there is a grid, and maybe that is part of the thing that creates the prison planet. I'm not so sure. I always had the impression that the prison planet was more or less in an outside of the physical existence of the barrier that keeps us here. But and we can, if the question went the other way, if we are trapped in our own thinking, we have the capacity to expand our thinking, to take care of the problems that we have. It is just that the will is not there by the psychopaths that is running government.
Right. All right, let's move on to another question. This one comes from Sharon. She is saying, so is this our only universe, or do we live in multiple universes where the other part of us is living with multiple outcomes?
Absolutely. There is many universes. In fact, quantum mechanics and Stephen Hawking said he could prove, I think he said 9 of them on the blackboard. And of course, there's more, of course, bless his soul, he left us. But there are others that say now we could perfectly well be living next to ourselves in another universe, non-observable to us, and going through some of the same thing we are doing, but maybe with small differences. And there are many different timelines going into the future, from maybe instances in the past where we started doing different things and we create new timelines. In fact, I had some looks at that with some equipment that I have, and in 1975, there was an asteroid that hit Earth, and basically over the next 2 years, all life died on this planet. And that is a different timeline. And there are many timelines. I have planned the future of my timeline, and I guess we were going to talk about that. But there are ways that you can plan your future, just like you would plan your vacation, and then you go do it. So we are not subject to only, whatever happens, happens. No, I don't believe that. There's a plan behind whatever we do. If we plan it, we can work it.
Well, this is getting into the woo a little bit here in regards to what did you use to see back in 1975 some asteroid that hit Earth and wiped out life in 2 years?
Yeah, that's a little off to the side, but let me tell you a parallel to that. In 2003, BBC Television came over to the United States to do a TV documentary on time travel. They interviewed Michio Kaku and Green and another theoretical physicist and myself. I was demonstrating a small electronic device on that TV documentary that I've had some very strange experiences with it. And in fact, on my website, let's say in the picture gallery, page 8, you will find picture evidence of 2 different timelines, but at the same time that I took. So there is this electronic device now. I was using that before, and I had these experiences. Now I don't use that anymore because the mind can do the same thing. So there is, just for the fun of it, you can the listeners could go to that www.augie-nost.com and to picture gallery and go to page 8. And there's 2 pictures there. There's kind of greenish pictures. And you can read the text that goes with it and explains how I did this. I evidently had a slippage from one timeline into another one. And also, it was several hours apart when I tried to get back to the same time that I took the first picture. Well, I missed it by 1 minute and 5 seconds, but I got close.
I'm sitting here on page 8. How far are we down here? Because there's some pretty incredible drawings on here.
Yeah, I think I haven't looked at it for a while. I think it's about halfway down the page or something like that. 2 green pictures, that greenish, where actually I could probably explain a little bit how I took those pictures. And I don't know if you find them there. I think it was, I'm totally sure it was page 8.
Yeah, I see some diagrams on page 8.
No, that's...
Maybe page 9?
No, I think it was 8. Well, it's got to be there.
Either way, we'll peruse around during the break to try and find those. But in regards to that question with the time, Sharon wants to know, where are you getting your information from? Is this all meditative? Is it some sort of spiritual guide that is helping you out with this?
Well, yeah, there is spiritual guides too, but the information that I talk about in the book about spiritual science and higher conscious thinking, a lot of that information came through in that universal download, and then I've added some things to it, trying to back up what I'm talking about. I'm relating to quantum mechanics and other things that I write about in there. I mean, because what I saw, that was mostly the things that I was interested in. And you can read about, the creation of mankind in there, and I tried to back that up with the Sumerian tablets, and in fact, even with this guy that everybody seems to know, his name was Jesus, what he looked like and stuff like that. So it's in there, because I saw that in the book, and I was able to find some things that kind of corroborate this. So I'm kind of walking both sides of the fence on it, because I was able to document and verify a lot of the things I saw, but some of it I wasn't, and I still put it in there.
We are talking with Augie Eanos tonight on Spaced Out Radio, and we're going to continue with some questions here. Joey is asking, does the brain process acquire a subjective aspect which is invisible to science, how pain feels, how color looks, feelings of fear, etc., instead of invisible concepts of consciousness versus soul? What about the concept of soul consciousness itself?
Well, first of all, the brain is also a part of the illusionary effect that is created by the mind into the physical arena. The brain is a tool of the soul, because the soul creates it. Everything in the physical is created by the universal consciousness behind the veil, so to speak. And the brain can do some amazing things. It's a factory. It's a chemical factory. And by us training the brain, it can do some amazing things. And the mind is, I'm not so sure exactly where I'm going with this, but the mind can help the brain to do amazing things. And when it comes to the mind, we've never been taught how to use it. And even in school, the teacher told you to go home and read this and memorize it, because you got to have a test on it tomorrow. Well, he didn't tell you how to memorize things. Everybody thinks that is natural. Well, it isn't. It can be taught. Photographic memory is alive and well. Eidetic memory is alive and well. So the brain can do great things, but it does greater things if it understands the mind.
We got about 3 minutes left, and we'll ask a couple more questions here, because in hour number 2, I want to get into the time travel aspect. Is it real? Is it not? And I know a lot of people are waiting for that. We'll go to BTO's question here, and he is asking, Augie, do you believe we are beyond one soul and consciousness? Are we part of this universe or beyond this universe?
We are multidimensionals, and dimension or universe is probably synonymous. And I would say that, we see ourselves here, we observe, and we know we are in this timeline, in this location, in this space and time right now, but we are in many others, just like this one.
Well, that sounds kind of cool. All right, let's get to another question from BTO here. As a follow-up, he's saying, do you believe then reincarnation is an entrapment? And what about the white light? What can you share regarding that?
Incarnation is not an entrapment. It is a sought adventure. Because we agree to go down here, and I said down here, or I said, out here, I guess, to experience certain things. And when we are suddenly opening our eyes after we're born, we don't remember a lot. Well, that's not quite right. At that time, we probably remember quite a bit, and then we are taught out of it, and we forget. So today, we don't remember much of what was before unless we go back into hypnosis and go back and we have a look at it. Then we can do it. But I think that, oh gosh, what was the second part of that question?
In regards to, let me just get it here. In regards to being in the white light, what about it?
Yeah, the white light, that's how the universes, not just this one, how it started. There was no Big Bang. Even the theoretical physicists now, quantum mechanics are coming around, they're saying that the Big Bang theory is pretty much dead. And what created this reality that we call our universe here was a single particle of thought that entered this vibration. And it was a curious particle of thought that wondered, what can I create on my own? And then it duplicated itself into everything that we have today, all the way through the 14.7 billion light years of existence since that time when that thought came into this vibration.
Very interesting indeed. Augie, I'm going to get you to hold on here as we are going to go to break at the top of the hour here. Augie Nost is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're going to be heading into the land of time travel. Is it real? Do we have time travelers here now? What about time travelers of the past? Do we go forward or do we go back? What would you do? More on Spaced Out Radio coming up in hour number 2. Stay tuned.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, George Norrie here. Are you ready for UFO MegaCon, the immersion event? 7 days, 8 nights, 50 new speakers, UFO military witnesses, experiencer groups, skywatches, and so much more. Join me at UFO MegaCon, March 24th through the 30th in Laughlin, Nevada. Truly the one and only new information conference of the year. Now check it out at UFOMegaCon.com. That's UFOMegaCon.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, Mike Morin and Morgan Knudsen are back for Ghosts of the Great White North. We get going at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, KDUN, AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Union, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Good to have you with us. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Astrobleem. Astrobleem is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. A good way to support this show. Shop at our Spaced Out Radio store and read up on Captain Shirk's SOR, Newswire, and much more. Tonight we are talking time travel with Augie Nost. His website, Augie-Nost.com. That's AAGE-NOST.com. Augie, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. I am enjoying myself.
Wonderful. I want to get into time travel here because over the last 10, 15 years, we have found a real intrigue with this. It started off with the old Art Bell show when a gentleman named John Teeters started messaging on a chat board, claiming that he was from the future and had to go back in time to the 1970s to get computer parts from IBM, and was saying all of these things that were happening on the timeline that had passed along him before he made it this way. We've heard of Andrew Bashago claiming that he traveled back in time as far as, saying that he is a child in a famous Abraham Lincoln picture from the Gettysburg Address. There's a lot of people out there who claim they are time travelers. Do you believe right now there are time travelers walking among us?
Oh, absolutely. I do. Because there is, if the concept is real, then there are people doing it. And the concept has, what I'm concerned, it's been proven. There are many different experiments that has been done successfully showing it is real. There are artifacts from the present day that has been found in places that, as an example, in China, there was a tomb that has been closed up for 800 years. When they open up the tomb on camera, they found a rusted out Swiss watch in it. And that shouldn't have been there. And also, another evidence of the fact that the concept is real is that there's a German scientist. His name was Helmut Schmidt. He done some study and research on the relationship between the experiment and the observer of the experiment. Now, Schmidt, he took a random numbers generator and hooked that up to an audio device so that he could send in an equal amount of clicks to the right and the left ear of a headset that will be recorded independently. So if they're randomly sent out like that, there should be 50-50 to each earpiece. And then they recorded it. And then they went and looked at some of them, and they were 48, 52, 49, 51. They were right about there. But then he gave one of the tapes to an intern or somebody he was working with, and says, go and visualize and hear a lot more clicks in one ear than the other one. And the intern took that home, and he spent some time at home visualizing and hearing not observing it. He wasn't listening to the tape. He was just visualizing it having more clicks on one side. And he did that for a lengthy period of time, and then he brought it back, and they ran it, and they saw that it had dropped something like 30% on that one side that was opposite of what he was trying to see, had more clicks. So with other words, when they made the recording, we must presume that it would be pretty much equal, 50-50. So he went back by observing it in his mind that there was more clicks on one side. He increased the clicks on that side. So he changed the past. He changed something that was recorded almost a day earlier. And when they saw that, they went and did it again, and it happened again. So this is a repeatable experiment that shows that present-day action can revert itself and make a reaction in the past. And this is one of the big experiments that quantum mechanics is talk about, because it pretty much proves that the concept is real. If the concept is real, there's people doing it. And I know that.
Have you ever met any true time travelers?
I had a call from somebody that I talked to for a while, and he seemed like he knew what he was talking about, but I don't know. I've done some things myself, and in the back of my book about spiritual science and higher conscious thinking and how to access the universal consciousness, I show people how they can do this, because there is a mind conditioning method in there that you can actually get yourself in a position where you can go and have a look at either the future or the past. So it is explained in the book how you can go about doing. With a little practice, you can actually get to the point where you can visualize some of these things. And of course, the pictures that we were talking about, that is I know some people can say, yeah, sure, pictures can be faked. Well, if anybody knew me, they would know my abilities on the computer is in stiff competition with the village idiot. So I don't think there's no chance I could do that.
In regards to time travelers, though, whether it's Andrew Basiago or John Teeter, the names that continually come up, do you believe their stories that they have done this, or that we have the technology currently to time travel?
I do not know anything about, I know who he is and what he talks about. Andrew Basiago, I don't really know him, but for some reason, the other guy, I think he's real. Teeter.
Why do you think Teeter's real?
Yep. Because he had too much information that made sense to me. I studied him a little bit, and I think he was real.
Do you believe he went forward back in, I guess forward in time would be the correct answer there?
Absolutely. I really think so. And then we got this guy in New York about a decade ago. He came there, and he was playing the stock market. And he did not have one loss. He started out with about $500, and he ended up with several $1 million without a loss. So they arrested him for insiders trading, and he said, no, I just came here from the future. He says, just doing an experiment. I wanted to play the game and have some fun. And they were going to try him for insiders trading, and they let him out, so he was going to show up in the in court later, and of course he never showed up. The thing about it is that the man did not exist in present-day annals anywhere. No social security number, no fingerprints, no nothing. The man did not exist when they arrested him. They couldn't find him anywhere.
I remember reading that story because the guy literally made millions and then just disappeared after he was arrested.
Yeah.
So how do you think he got away if he's sitting in a jail cell?
No, they let him out, on his own recognizance.
Right.
So he was going to show up in court later, but he never showed up. So, and if I was him, I'd be out of here too. The corrupt system there, I would not have any part of it. They don't need evidence anymore to convict anybody,
Right. No, I hear you there. But in regards to it, do you believe, though, if we focus in on this time right now, which we are all sharing, that we have that capability to time travel? Do you believe that the technology is there and that we've already done it? I mean, yes, there was the experiment in Russia between Russian and Chinese scientists a couple weeks ago that moved a couple atoms or a couple particles, back in time by a couple of seconds. But do you believe the technology currently exists so we can go way back in time to anywhere we want?
Well, they both talked to the people at IBM in Minneapolis because they they released a statement saying that they had used a quantum computer and they used it to reverse time. I just found this thing. I didn't even have time to read it yet, but Leak Project had it, and there's another place also that wrote about that. So I'm going to get on that one and read the whole thing because that sounded interesting.
Very strange.
Yeah, and the thing is that a lot of times when people, even John Titor, he came here from the future and he said, you're going to have a third world war. Well, that time when he said that was supposed to happen has passed. And the thing about it is that it is somewhat explainable. Even though I think he is real, he may have missed that because timelines are different. When he came back here, he made some decisions and he talked about things that he was doing. So he may have created a different timeline for us so that the stuff that he saw in his timeline didn't happen in the one that we have. That goes back to the grandfather paradox. Excuse me. Let's say that you go back to before you were born and you go back and kill your grandfather. Then would you exist? Because you came from him, so would you exist here? This paradox has never been answered. And the explanation to that is that if you went back, killed your grandfather, this timeline with either the two schools of thought on it, either it would collapse, the quantum field would collapse and you would disappear in this one and you would go on in another timeline or not be in the other timeline at all since the grandfather was dead. So different timelines give you different results, and that's sometimes why psychics also miss it, because they miss the fact that, they're in this timeline, but the other person may make a different decision on the basis of what they're told, so they go off in a different direction and create a new timeline where this negative thing or whatever they were told did not exist. So the different timelines make it difficult to be accurate about some of the things that you see in this present timeline. If you go back, and this goes another favorite thing of me to talk about, what if you screwed up something so bad in the past, you want to go back and have a do-over, huh? Well, I got my hand up. That theoretically, according to quantum mechanics, could be done. And what I see could be done is that you go, let's say that last Christmas, New Year's Eve, you were out partying and really screwed up something very bad. And you want to go back and change that. Go back to a time before that screw up. In your mind. Visualize yourself in a place you know where you were at that, before that. And sit there and visualize yourself going forward in time towards that time when you screwed it up. And then right before what you screwed up, decide, I am going to make a different decision. I'm not doing that. I'm doing something different. At that time, you are creating a new timeline in your mind, moving forward in a different direction. So if you do that over and over again, you may create so much momentum and emotion, gratitude, love. That's a spiritual language. So in that direction that you can actually suddenly slip over into this new timeline so your screw up never happen. The trick though is that once that happens, you will never know about the screw up because that did not exist anymore in your new timeline. This is what...
Does everybody have that ability to time travel though? Is it a consciousness thing as we bring consciousness back in here, or do we need some sort of mechanism to help us time travel?
I believe it can be done both ways because this electronic device that I have, I had some strange experiences with them. And that could probably help doing it. But I think also the mind has to be involved. The mind alone could do it. I don't know if an electronic device alone could do it. I'm not sure because I think the mind has to be involved in this because it's all mind created anyway. But one of the times when I was using the electronic device, I found myself, I was visualizing myself walking down the street. And as I walked up towards people, it appears as they were weaving out of my way a little bit, so it appeared as they actually saw me. And then I walked up to a newspaper stand and I looked at the date on the newspaper and it was 6 months in the future. So this is something that Stephen Gibbs in Canada, no, he's not, he's in Kansas. He makes these electronic devices. He doesn't make a lot of them, but because he insists people understand this is not a toy. He has made this for people and they're missing. And he doesn't talk a lot about this, but I've known him a long time, for about 25 years. So he talks about some of these things to some people.
Well, one of the things that I've always found curious in regards to it, I don't know if it's time travel. I don't know if it is something completely different. But a lot of times we see a lot of people where 1 minute they are there, the next minute they are gone. Like, say, a lot of these missing people who have no reason to disappear. They're not in trouble with the law. They hang out with the right people and just poof, they're gone. Now, I do believe a lot of that is some sort of ET abduction, along with, some sort of human answer to that maybe foul play is involved. But I often wonder about these people who just walk around a corner because, they want to, I don't know, go behind a garbage can and go relieve themselves out while partying with their buddies or something along that line. Just poof, they're gone. I'm wondering if these potential portals or vortexes have anything to do with it, where the person doesn't know that they've walked through to a different timeline, or maybe they've time traveled somewhere through a vortex. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, you are exactly right. There are portals in many, many different places, and we don't know where they are. There's another story of a man right about 1900, I think 1898 or something like that. His name was David Lang. And you can Google this, call it the David Lang Mystery. And you will find that this this man, he was sitting with his family on his front porch on a ranch, and he stepped down from the porch and was walking across the front yard towards the barn, and his family was sitting there, and they saw him suddenly fading out, and he disappeared. Now, so happened that another guy was running a horse and a carriage on the road next to there, and he observed it. This guy was a judge and his brother, I guess, and they stopped the horse and they ran over to where he disappeared, and they could hear him saying, "Hey, help! Where am I at?" They could hear him hollering back from somewhere, but they could not see it. It's a very well documented story by credible people, and I believe that happened, and there are several stories like that. So, and I talk about some of these stories actually in my book, where you can learn a little more about time travel in the back of it. In fact, that book actually teaches you how to use your mind in ways that you have no idea you could really do. And some of the things that you get shown how to do, you believe is almost impossible.
So how does one come back? Can they come back?
There is something called, I call it the safety valve in the universe. When you go somewhere like this, you get pulled back to where you started. But evidently, that doesn't work all the time. Especially because, one of the people that bought this electronic device that I have, a similar one, they took it back, and he was a student. He went up to his room, and he evidently started experimenting with it, and he was experimenting during the afternoon, and when his parents came up to get him down for dinner, he wasn't up there, but the electronic device was sitting in the middle of the room. The time coil was there, and the magnet was there, and he had disappeared. He never showed up ever since anywhere. So evidently he may have gone back to possibly a time before electricity where he could not maybe use this equipment, or something went wrong because he never made it back.
Well,
that's why I'm saying this is not...
I always wonder about that, Augie. I always wonder about that. It always intrigues me, because I don't think that these people even know that they've left. I really don't.
I think that could be true. Yeah.
My friend, you hold on.
They might figure it out after a while, but it may look the same.
Might look exactly the same. You hold on, because we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. I know for people listening in that there is a glitching going on with our audio that's coming through our system. We are currently working on that as we speak while we're doing the show. So you just sit back, take in the commercials. We're going to try and figure out the audio problem. Augie Nost is our guest tonight on the Mighty SOR. More time travel and so much more after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Hi, George Norrie here. Are you ready for UFO MegaCon, the immersion event? 7 days, 8 nights, 50 new speakers, UFO military witnesses, experiencer groups, skywatches, and so much more. Join me at UFO MegaCon, March 24th through the 30th in Laughlin, Nevada. Truly the one and only new information conference of the year. Now check it out at UFOMegaCon.com. That's UFOMegaCon.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have you along for the ride tonight. Thank you so much for being with us. Remember, a good way to support this show is to go to our website, spacedoutradio.com, click on the shop banner, and go pick yourself up a T-shirt, a hoodie, hats, coffee mugs. We got it all. And it's a great way to support what we do from your end as well. Thank you so much for those who've already went and bought our product. We appreciate that. Tonight we are talking time travel. Augie Nost is our guest tonight. Augie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now, right before the break, we were looking into time travel, portals, everything like that, whether or not people disappearing are absolutely just moving forward into another dimension, another timeline. How does this all time together with time travel? Does this mean that there are multiples of us that we can travel through at any place at any time, but the majority of us just don't even know when it's happening? Like maybe you have, maybe I have at times. I don't know. This is the confusing part for me.
Yeah, it gets pretty involved when you are looking at the fact that there are more than one timeline, and you appear to be in maybe many of those timelines. And then we have portals from where we, or ley lines where we can slip through from one timeline into another one. And we find that we could... it doesn't look different necessarily, except for minor differences or major differences. But there are differences. And then you suddenly do something else, and then you find yourself back in the one you started at. So I've had things happen, and I bet somebody else have too. I can put my car keys down on the island in the kitchen. Turn around and put something in the freezer. Turn around and the keys are gone. And you can swear they were there a minute and a half before. Can anybody relate to that one?
Oh, yes. Yes.
See the thing, and then, we go and do something else and come back and there they are. That stuff happens. So you wonder, did we for a short moment slip over to another timeline where we didn't put the keys down, we had them in our pocket instead? And then we slip back again and there they are on the island in the kitchen. So these things, and the thing about it, when those things happen, afterwards, we all try to explain it away. Oh, yeah, I just didn't remember, there's nothing to that. It's just that I didn't remember. We all try to explain it away because that's the thing to do that keeps us sane. Because then we don't have to step out on that slick ice saying that, oh, you were in a different timeline. Maybe you were in a different time. That's uncharted territory for most people, so we always try to explain it away. That's the way I look at it.
Do you believe then, getting back to the technology side of everything, we know, at least we hope we know, that the United States government and other governments around the world have UFO technology that they have tried to reverse engineer. Many believe that they have even received information about technology through extraterrestrial contact that has helped them out. In that type of reverse engineering, do you think over time, over the last 70 years, let's say since Roswell, that we have gained the technological advantage to be able to travel back in time, maybe through the use of wormholes or portals or something along that through the space-time continuum?
Oh, absolutely. I am totally convinced that the dark side of government, the secret space program, has got something to it. I'm not so sure that it's as elaborate as some people are saying it is, but there is one. Because the funding for it show that it goes into those areas. That has been found out from studying the congressional record. Then I think also that the U.S. government, as well as probably the Russian and the Chinese and maybe the British and maybe others, they have developed this technology because what came down at Roswell, it was a flying disc. And there's some controversy about where that came from. And the Germans, during the Second World War, or before even, in 1938, they started making circular or round airplanes. And they built, in 1945, right before the end of the war, they had built... there is 163 known flying discs that the Germans made. And many of the later ones that they did was based on the technology in something they called Die Glocke, or the bell. And that was as well as a device that could transcend time as well as neutralize gravity inside of a bubble. And we know that. I've seen some drawings in old European newspapers of people that they were in the concentration camps, Norwegians that were in the concentration camp, and they came back and they saw these things and they made drawings of it. So, yeah, I believe that was real because it coincides with what we have found later. And... even the Germans had their own Roswell. Back in 1934 or something like that, back in Bavaria, they had another crash where they got a hold of a flying disc that was probably of alien origin. So there's been back engineering in the U.S., I'm sure in England, and Russia, and probably China, and many of these larger countries that found these things. And, Bob Lazar talks about it. And I totally believe that Bob Lazar is real. No question about that.
Me too. I know I'm in the minority in position that I am in with that. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't believe it, but I am a believer in his story too. Yeah.
Because it has never changed over the 2 decades. It's been the same. And the science you talk about, I've had some training in science, but not as much as here. The concepts of it make sense.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would totally agree with that in regards to it. I'm curious in regards to the idea that people claim that they've seen things happen. they've seen strange things. There's a rumor going around regarding shadow people, and whether or not maybe shadow people are actually time travelers and not ghosts or spiritual entities at all. What's your thoughts on that?
I see them all the time out of the corner of the eye, and the reason that you don't necessarily see shadow people right in front of you is because in the back of the eye, of the retina, the periphery of the retina is able to pick up higher vibratory light than the center of the retina. So that's why you see them out of the corner of the eye, and when you look over there, they're gone. So, and sometimes these things, you can see them moving. It's just like somebody is there. So these are interdimensional or entities or people, if we want to call them that is in a reality just really close to ours in vibration. So we can really kind of get a look at them. Except for that when we look over there, so the center of the retina get the light, then it is not capable of seeing as high into the light spectrum, and we lose them. That's what I have kind of come up with for myself as an explanation.
Where do you think this technology is hiding? Is it in some CIA base in the United States? Is it at Area 51, Wright-Patterson, down where all the weird stuff happens in New Mexico?
All of those places. The United States government has so many hidden away technologies that they are probably at least 50 years ahead of us in anything that they are doing in these dark projects. And the black projects are unlimited funded. So why shouldn't they be ahead? They get the money they want because of kinds of different things. Much of it is siphoned off of the U.S. The accountants out of Pentagon. They've come out now to some of them saying there's $9 trillion that is missing. And other accountants say they have counted it up to about $20 trillion missing out of the military budgets. So, yeah, and it goes somewhere. Well, it goes to the secret space programs or the black projects. And, of course, the drug trades of the CIA, that creates a lot. So they get money from everywhere. So they can create technologies that is way far ahead of us. And, of course, we are never told about it.
Do you believe, though, that we can go way back in time, like Andrew Bashago said, go look at dinosaurs or the birth of Jesus Christ to confirm a lot of these rumors and mysteries?
Yeah, you can go way far back in time. You can do that, but when it comes to the birth of Jesus Christ, it's going to be a little difficult. But otherwise, yeah, you can see these things. And what we are discovering is that when you step outside of the physical existence, then time and space as we know it does not exist. Past, present, and future is all there sitting in this soup of creation. With other words, there is no distance between the present and 1,000 years ago in that soup. So we can lock our consciousness onto something in that soup and latch onto it, and that will bring it out so we can see it, or we could go there. That's what you need the back of my book to show how to do. Because once you go into the soup, it's all there. There is no distance between the future and the past outside of the physical. Well, that's not totally right. The lower astral worlds, there is still time and space because that's where ghosts get trapped.
Okay, well, what about something like Sasquatch, where a lot of First Nations and American Indians believe that it has the potential power to be interdimensional, and that's why we can't find a body?
I think it's kind of like with the elephants. The elephant graveyard is well hidden away. You hardly ever will find a dead elephant in the wild. I think they do probably the same thing with the Sasquatch. They are very careful about when they get old and passing on, they take care of their own. And I think, I don't necessarily think they're interdimensionals. I don't know, but it's hard to say, though. For all I know, they could be, but I kind of doubt it. The reason I doubt that is because the consciousness they have a language. They have been observed. People have heard them talking to each other in a kind of staccato language. And they are intelligent enough to stay out of our way and stay in a place where they should be safe. But I'm wondering what kind of consciousness they are able to use and project themselves into. I'm not so sure. I think they're probably somewhat limited, but I don't know.
Do you believe then that there are beings, though, that can use that interdimensional type travel to get here, like maybe the shadow people? Is that the way they're traveling in and out?
Maybe some of them are that way. There are, you have, there are people that say they come from higher vibrations and they walk among us here and then they're not there anymore. So I'm sure that there are things like this. In fact, I had an experience back in Europe several decades ago where I had a contact like that. So, yeah, I am sure that they're coming down from higher vibration. They're able to dense up the body and create something that is similar to what we can relate to and communicate with. And then when they no longer need that for the purpose of our communication, then just go off to the higher vibration where they don't need that body anymore, because it is mind created in the first place. There's nothing physical there if you want to go and leave it behind. They just take it with them.
Doesn't it affect the body, time travel?
That is what I hear. Stephen Gibbs, that builds this electronic device that I have, he says that, it does affect the body. It creates more free radicals, and it can degrade the body the more you use it. I personally think just by doing it with mind only, I am not so sure that it does degrade anything, because it's the mind. Everything is mind anyway. So I don't think it does. And there again, I don't know that either. But
we've also seen a change in DNA in regards to astronauts who spend a lengthy time in space.
Yes.
When they come back. So could that be happening with time travel as well?
Yeah, I think it probably could. It probably could, because the Russian astronaut that spent 828 days in space, he came back because of as fast as he was going, traveling around the world in 90 minutes for 820-some-3 days, he has accelerated into the future. No, wait a minute. Yeah, he accelerated into the future 4 seconds. So when he came back, he did not come back to the same time that he left. But it also, he couldn't walk when he came back. He had to get rehabilitated because his muscles were degraded to the point where there was not much left.
Yeah. You think you ride the stationary bike up there every now and again?
Yeah, you should. I think they have exercise equipment now that, you could use, but still there is not gravity, because here we get exercise every minute of the day just by what we do.
All right. I got a question coming from the Revolution Radio chat room from Stardust, who is asking, What do you know about the towers on the moon that keeps your soul from going back to source by capturing it and sending your soul back to Earth and reincarnating? Have you ever heard that theory?
Yeah, I heard it, and I don't have much thought on that. I don't think those towers are not for that purpose, and there's nothing on the moon that can prevent me as an astral traveler to go anywhere in the universe if I want to. And souls, they are not accessible to anything except for our purpose and the universal consciousness. If somebody out there think that they're strong enough to be able to take a soul and destroy it or capture it, good luck with that. I'm not buying that at all.
Yeah, it seems a little bit insane.
Yeah, it
does.
And when it comes to the moon, that's a totally different arena. The moon shouldn't even be there in the first place, but it is. So, of course, there's old writings coming out of India showing that we had two moons. One was bluish in color, and then this one. So they're spacecrafts.
What role do UFOs play in this?
I think they're just probably explorers coming here, many of them just as curious as about us as we are as about them, and then the prime directive is real. That's they're not supposed to interfere, and they probably consider us as maybe just like at our development dangerous animals, so they don't really want to consider associating much with us anyway. And then there are others that have our best interest at heart and is nudging us along the evolutionary path for higher consciousness. And I'm sure they are, for what we're doing to this ball of mud called Earth right now, I think they're crying their eyes out.
Well, we only have about 30 seconds here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. And when we come back, Augie, I want to get into this. I want to get into astral time travel, if you don't mind, because I think that's kind of intriguing. Okay. Can we do it on our own? How do we do it? Can we go back in time? Is it imagination, or are we really reversing things in our mind? It's going to be interesting. We got Augie Nost for one more half hour here on the mighty SOR, and then at the bottom of the hour, I'm going to bring in the SOR Newswire with the weird, the strange, the wacky in the world of news, along with the thought of the day. So you guys all sit tight. If you want to check out Augie's website, it's Augie-Nost.com. That's AAGE-NOST.com. Augie-Nost.com. Check it on out. We'll be back with the final hour of Spaced Out Radio right after this. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Hi, George Norrie here. Are you ready for UFO MegaCon, the immersion event? 7 days, 8 nights, 50 new speakers, UFO military witnesses, experiencer groups, skywatches, and so much more. Join me at UFO MegaCon, March 24th through the 30th in Laughlin, Nevada. Truly the one and only new information conference of the year. Now check it out at UFOMegacon.com. That's UFOMegacon.com.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, The iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I'm Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Tomorrow night on the program, Mike Morin and Morgan Knudsen are back for Ghosts of the Great White North, 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern is when we get going at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, and in Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030. On the digital side, we welcome in everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Remember, you can check out our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Astrobleem. Astrobleem is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night, right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. To support this show, a good way to do that is to go shopping in our Spaced Out Radio store, read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, and much more. For the final time tonight, we introduce Augie Nost. We are talking time travel tonight. And Augie, want to thank you for coming in on the show.
Thank you for having me here. This is fun.
I got to say something before we get too into it here, because we're going to get into astral time travel here. But Rich Giordano from Goof on Radio, he's in our chat room tonight. And he has challenged me on his show, 7 p.m. Pacific, tomorrow night on YouTube, Goof on Radio. We're going to get into Bob Lazar. We're going to debate Bob Lazar because I believe Bob Lazar is real. Goof on Radio, in his weirdness, does not believe Bob Lazar. So I will be on Goof on Radio on YouTube, 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night. We're debating it. And Giordano, you better bring as much as you can, any illegal weapons you can, to the squared circle, my friend, because we are going at it. We are going at it, and I'm going to pin you for the 3 count, right in the middle on that debate. Anyways, Augie, thank you so much for being with us. Astral time travel. We have a lot of people out there who believe they could travel back in time astrally, even travel towards the future, not just a day or two, but hundreds of years on either side of our timeline. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I know it can be done. The term astral travel is, it's the astral world is the vibration above us in the higher vibration, the higher, let's say, existence. So once you start leaving the physical, going into that higher vibration, you go through several levels that you see stuff and you can experience things with that. And that's where that astral world is. So you can travel in it, but the consciousness and the astral vehicle has to leave the physical body. And this is not uncommon anymore. There are many people that had experiences like that, and it's pretty harmless. You can't really get hurt out there, not physically, because there is nothing out there to get hurt. But remember, though, we live in a mind-created universe, so your mind is in charge. And the vibration you put out when you go out there, that will bring you to and possibly draw to you the kind of experience, because you could draw to you the kind of entities and experiences that will support your fear. And I don't do anything like that. I surround myself in a bubble of bright white light, and the negative entities and the negative things that may be out there, they can't stand that bright white light, so they stay away, and I have no problems. And if you're a spiritual person of good character and high vibration, you're going to have an easier time out there, because you are going to be led. You may actually end up meeting someone that you can get connected up with and learn from. And there are many existences. The one or two are the closest to us. That's kind of the lower end of the astral worlds. It's kind of the garbage dump of the astral worlds, where when you drop the body, the astral vehicle, the astral body that goes up into that realm, and it's float around, it does things, it only operates from memory. The astral body has no intelligence of its own. It only operates from memory. Whatever it learned when it was attached to the physical body, that's the knowledge it has when it gets there. And eventually also that astral vehicle will die. And when it dies, it breaks up and it floats away, and that's why I'm calling it the garbage dump of the astral worlds, because you see these things floating around there, and it's not a nice sight. So once you get through that, you don't see that anymore. Just get to the higher vibration, and then you can see some very nice things. You can go places, you can see things, you can do things, but I recommend very highly to respect people's privacy. Let's say that you have a girlfriend and you wonder if she's actually having some other passion in her heart. Well, don't go drop in on her. Ask before you go. And observe the privacy of people. And don't try to get into the White House in Washington just because you think you can. I guarantee you can't. They have other astral travelers that will be there to meet you, and they are telling you to go somewhere far away. So this pretty well guarded place. And I'm sure that program is run by the CIA or somebody that knows how.
Hold on. You're saying that government of buildings like the White House or the Pentagon are protected by astral traveling
because
mind control people?
Yeah, in the past, there is stories of people that have astrally gone and observed government documents and come back and, reported on it. That is a little more difficult to do now because, especially in high-profile places like maybe the Pentagon or the White House or so on, I shouldn't even say this, but I tried to get into the White House and that didn't work at all.
What happened? You gotta tell us this. You can't just peek woo us like that. And not even give us details.
Yeah, that's on one astral trip. I tried to get into the White House. I just didn't want to spy or anything. That wasn't my intention. I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like because I've never been to the White House. And I got probably within 100 foot or so, and there was this other entity standing right there where I was heading off to, and he pointed, and he let me know in no uncertain terms that I was not to enter. And when you see that gesture, then you turn around and you leave, because there is very little conflict on our part. Our mind out there, the astral vehicle and the higher mind, does not think in conflict as we do in the physical. We could have thought that, I'll just ignore the guy and go on. That wouldn't come to my mind there. I just turned on and left because I was told to leave.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Now, you wanted to do a little experiment here on astral travel with our audience, but you got a warning for people that if you're driving in your vehicle, don't listen to this.
Yeah, this is a mind experiment that will get you a little taste of what it would look like. And if you're driving a car or flying airplanes right now, turn the radio off. Or if you're doing anything that needs your full attention, then turn the radio off, because you may not be quite as present of mind as you otherwise would be, because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And your mind will kind of go away and just listen to me for a second, what I'm going to tell you. So try to find a place where you sit very comfortably on a couch or a chair, and put your feet on the floor and your hands in your lap, and just sit there for this is going to take about 2 minutes, and it'll be all over, and you're going to enjoy it. So sit there and look straight ahead and tell yourself, I feel wonderful. I feel very relaxed. I feel good. I feel wonderful. Now, close your eyes. Kind of visualize yourself sitting in the chair with your eyes behind closed eyelids. Look down at your hands, and you see them on your leg laying on top, and you can see your knees, you see your clothes, you feel the feet on the floor. You're sitting in the chair.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Well, there you go. And then raise up. In your mind, not sit in the chair, but in your mind, visualize yourself raising up out of the chair. Take 2 steps forward. Turn around and look at yourself sitting in the chair. Look at yourself, you're sitting right there in the chair. You see your hands in your lap. You see your head on your shoulders, your feet on the floor. You know what your clothing look like. You can see yourself sitting there. Visualize yourself sitting in that chair.
I can see just trying this out here. I can see exactly what you're saying, except I haven't been able to get my fat butt out of my chair yet to look at myself from the other side. But everything else that you're directing us to, I see.
Yeah, you can actually. And turn around now and back up 2 steps and sit down back in yourself. Now you're back in your body. And you can see your hands again, you feel your feet on the floor, and you're back to normal.
I'm going to have to practice this.
Yeah, start doing this a few times during the day. It only takes 2 minutes. So start doing this, and you're going to find that sometimes people can catch on like ducks to water. And you do it for 3 or 4 or 5 times, and suddenly you can actually see yourself in color sitting in that chair. That means your consciousness is outside of your body. And sometimes you may have to do it 30, 40 times. But you're going to be able to see some of these things, and when you do, you're going to be delighted.
Well, I'm going to practice that.
Yeah. And here is the same thing with this old saying that I have, for the one that have had the experience, no explanation is necessary. For the one that has not had the experience, no explanation is possible. This is hard to believe until you actually do it and you see it. Then you suddenly, wow, this is real.
Interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting. One of the other things, because we only got about 8 minutes left with you, that I want to get into is reverse aging. The one thing we all hate in life is getting older, and it happens every minute with every breath. And like I said earlier in the show, I can't believe, in 2 months' time, I'm going to be 46 years old. I still feel like I'm a 25-year-old man. You're 73, and you still feel like you're in your 30s. So, I mean, let's talk about this a little bit. What have you learned about reverse aging?
Yeah. Did you know, and I'll tell you if you want to read more about this, I explained it very thoroughly in the book. But did you know that in 2009, 3 doctors got the Nobel Prize for discovering an enzyme that reverses the aging process, and nobody hardly seems to know about it. Of course, we can understand why we haven't been told, because we also understand what happened to pension programs and Social Security and things like that if people quit dying, right? So that explains why you haven't been told. But this is very possible and simple to do, because this enzyme is called telomerase. And what we're finding is that if the body have enough of this enzyme, it will lengthen the telomeres at the end of the chromosomes that hold your genetic code together, so that the cells will be sufficiently renewed so they can replicate themselves. Because science knows what causes aging and eventual death. The telomeres at the end of the chromosome, for every time that a cell divides, the telomeres get a little shorter and a little shorter. So to the point where they get so short, they're no longer holding the ends of the chromosomes together, and they start fraying, and the cells are no longer able to replicate themselves. And you end up with old cells in the body, and you get old and you die. If you have enough telomerase, these telomeres are not shortening. In fact, you can lengthen them like I have done. I'm doing this, and it's working for me. So I found a man in China that was 256 years old when he died from an accident. He was a martial art instructor for the Chinese army for as long as anybody alive would remember. Another guy came from China to New York on an exchange program as a university professor, and he went out to dinner with some colleagues, got food poisoning, and died. He ended up at the morgue, and they went through his paper, and something was wrong. So they called the ambassador, and they told the ambassador his passport showed that he's 154 years old. That can't be right. And the ambassador told them, yeah, he is. They asked him why, and he said, well, first of all, he only ate Chinese herbs and berries, and he knew he could never die. So what I've come up with from studying all these people that is well over 150 years old is that a combination of nutrients that will help us get enough of this get enough of this enzyme, as well as the right consciousness towards death and aging, will help us stop the aging process. And it's working for me, and I must have talked about this now for 2 years on radio shows, and I get emails from people saying, hey, it's working. So have a look at this. And there are several things that will help us create this telomerase in the body. And one of them is astragalus. And if it's taken in the large doses, and there's medical experiments now that has been done that proves that if you take astragalus in the large doses, the telomeres no longer shorten, and sometimes they actually lengthens. And this is there's another one that is called the Yaogulan herb. It's called the immortality herb in China. And this is what these old people were taking. And I'm doing what they're doing, and it seems to work. Now, there is a pharmaceutical equivalent. It's much more expensive and set you back probably about $400 a month. It's called TA65. That will also, well, most people believe that it will do the same thing. I've heard both. I've heard that it works, and I also heard that nobody seems, or someone didn't seem to get much reaction from it. But what I'm doing works for me, and that's about all I can say. In the back of the book, Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness, you can read about how we do it and when it works for us.
That is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have about 3 minutes left with you tonight, my friend. In regards to this reverse aging, does it keep us from... Sure, it keeps us internally from getting old, but what about the outside? What about the skin, the wrinkles, the gout, the bunions, the sore back, the bad knees?
Well, the thing about it is that once you start reversing the aging process, all age-related diseases go away. I have had reports from people that have had that happen. So I would say that, first of all, looking at myself, I can see that maybe a little wrinkles in the face has gone away. It's kind of like, those crow's feet, they call them. Yeah, they're going away. But that I'm not worried about. I'm more, if you wrinkle on the outside, you wrinkle on the inside too. I'm concerned about the inside because that's where the body functions. The skin, that is, I guess that's good too. But I feel great at my age. I feel good. So it's working for me. And I've had, maybe at least 50, 75 emails over the last 2 years. So people are saying that, it's working. So there's got to be something to it, except for not just me.
Well, are a lot of people using this? Is this why the Queen is still alive?
That could very well be. Because I find a lot of people, especially in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, the Cossacks, they pretty much all of them make it to 100. National Geographic went down to the shores of Lake Titicaca in the 1930s, and they found a tribe there where the average age was 130. So these things does happen. It's just that it doesn't happen to the people that goes to McDonald's and live like we do in the West.
Very interesting. My friend, we only got about 1 minute left with you tonight. I want to say thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Very much appreciate you doing that. How can people get a hold of you and find you on social media?
Okay, I'm on, just friend me on Facebook and also go to the website www.aage-nost.com. I also have another website where I store my radio shows, and that is at www.universal-consciousness-show.com. And my book, this one, it can be found on Amazon and pretty much everywhere. Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness. I have a very interesting video out that you can find pretty much anywhere now. It's called Aliens and Agenda 21. You Google that one and you can see the trailer on it, and that's quite interesting. So have a look at that too.
Very incredible. My friend, you take care. Thank you so much for coming on this show tonight. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. This was really fun. Thank you a lot.
All right, you take care. Coming up next on the Mighty SOR, we have the SOR Newswire. Got some good stories for you, along with the Thought of the Day. We'll be back with more right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi, George Norrie here. Are you ready for UFO MegaCon, the immersion event? 7 days, 8 nights, 50 new speakers, UFO military witnesses, experiencer groups, skywatches, and so much more. Join me at UFO MegaCon, March 24th through the 30th in Laughlin, Nevada. Truly the one and only new information conference of the year. Now check it out at UFOMegaCon.com. That's UFOMegaCon.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night. Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Had a little bit of a sticky mic button there. I apologize to you all. But the news is always changing, which is why we get to the SOR Newswire on a nightly basis. This program just keeps acting up, driving me nuts. I almost pulled out my hair. With that one. But we're going to get to the news of the night. Before we do that, I want to give a couple of shout-outs. One to Goof on Radio tomorrow night. where we have myself and Rich Giordano starting at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to debate Bob Lazar, and then after that show, we are going to go straight into what we call Spaced Out Radio. So make sure you check that on out. But yes, Chuck, if you're listening, I hate this program. I hate this program I'm using. Oh, I want to shake it. So anyways, we're going to get to the news. Also want to give a quick shout out to Georgia Floyd's Country Kitchen hot sauce. Sprinkled that in my chili earlier today. They sent me a couple of bottles, say, hey, Dave, we know you love hot sauce. Check it on out. So I checked it on out. It's good. GeorgiaFloydsCountryKitchen.com. Go check it out for yourself. Great hot sauce. Absolutely. It's a little bit hotter than Frank's, but it's good. It's tasty. So make sure you check that on out. All right, we're going to get to the news of the night here. We're going to start off with a strange animal. Yeah. So, marine experts at the Seaside Aquarium in Long Beach, Washington, found a bizarre creature buried in the sand, man. Talking about strange animals. This thing is called a snake eel. It's hideous, ugly. Literally a face only a mother could love. A woman named Candace discovered the sea creature in the water, or from the water. So they called the aquarium staff. They come racing down there to see if they could save it. And even though the skin had dried out a little bit, this snake eel, which is like, it's like a golden tan color with leopard spots all over it, blue eyes. It's kind of ugly. Well, it was sitting on shore, so they were able to save it. Now, this thing is rare. They don't see very many of these. They're usually found in depths between 25 feet and 500 feet of water. They had to take it back to make sure that they could get it healthy again. So right now it's at the Washington Northern Oregon Marine Mammal Stranding Network, making sure that they can bring it back. They don't know if they'll be able to put it back in the wild. Hopefully they can. Pacific snake eels. That's what it's called. Pacific snake eels. Not pretty. Not pretty. I don't know if I would be doing that if I came across one of these. Really don't. Really don't. So, you know, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Scary indeed. Let's go to this guy. Jacob William Rogie. You know, if you're robbing a store, you might want to come up with a little bit better gimmick than what this guy did. All right? You have to. Because this dude looks like he borrowed his girlfriend's unicorn onesie to rob a business. So he's under arrest for targeting a convenience store in Baldwin, Maryland. This happened this past weekend. So he put on the full white and pink unicorn outfit. The 28-year-old then grabbed the cash register, made off with money and some smokes, jumped into a car driven by his accomplice, and then they were chased down by police, lost control, swerved into oncoming traffic, and crashed into a tree. No word on how the costume is doing. Oh, apparently it was discarded prior to the crash, but later discovered by police on the side of the roadway in some bushes. A unicorn costume? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't be more creative than that? Like, he's got rubber gloves on to disguise his hands. It always amazes me. We got like the SR-71, which can read the name of a golf ball from like 87,000 feet high, and security cameras are always pixelated. But who uses a unicorn onesie to rob a store? with the pink belly and everything. She's even got the horn on. Well, him and his buddy are going to be doing some time here, according to Baltimore County Police. Rogie apparently is still hospitalized from the accident, crashing into the tree. He's in hospital with serious condition, while his partner is being held without bail pending a review hearing. They're both facing numerous charges, including armed robbery and theft. I think they should be charged with embarrassing types of ways to rob people. Horrible. Bill Gates is in the news comparing artificial intelligence to nuclear weapons. Both promising and dangerous, the multi-billionaire says. Not a fan. Not a fan. Now, according to Gates, he says the world hasn't had that many technologies that both are promising and dangerous. I won't say that there are many examples of AI having improved society. Apparently, Bill says the U.S. was in this totally unique position for most of these breakthrough technologies. Now the U.S. is still very much the leader, but not the same in a dominant way. But as for the danger of it all, he's concerned about how humanity is going to survive with AI superintelligence. To quote Gates, he says, I am in the camp that is concerned about superintelligence. First, machines will do a lot of jobs for us and not be superintelligent. That should be positive if we manage it well. A few decades after that, though, the intelligence is strong enough to be a concern. So now you have Bill Gates. Elon Musk has also come out speaking against AI technology, saying that it's dangerous. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. Really not a fan. I just have a really bad feeling that the more we go down this AI road, it's going to be bad for all of us. What are we going to do as humans? How are we going to survive? Especially when everything is controlled by the dollar or gold and soon to be technology. All right. Let's pick it on up here. A pro wrestler on the independent circuit under the name Manic, his real name is Nick McCune. Well, apparently he put his wrestling skills to work at a Denny's restaurant in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So apparently there was this guy named Richard Hart who was pretty intoxicated after a night of partying. And he was in the restaurant yelling at patrons that he had a knife and that he was about to do some damage. Well, that's where old Manic came into play. I don't know if his theme song played while he started walking towards the guy, but here he was in a black tank top, purple shorts, and a black beanie. And I don't know if there was a suplex involved, maybe a camel clutch. Maybe a straw to the nose. Maybe a Denny's flapjack to the head. A flurry of syrup to the solar plexus. You never know. But apparently he helped wrestle down this Richard Hart, who was just being a jerk, and was able to help police or hold him until police got there. The guy has now been arrested for aggravated assault of an officer, amongst other charges. But thanks to the big wrestler, he was able to shut things down for the 3 count, just like that. And I tell you, this is a Florida story. This is where we're going to wrap it up. This is a Florida story. But it's a good one. Because this combines two of the greatest things ever, in my opinion. It involves Florida Man Night and a baseball team called the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Now, minor league baseball always has these fantastic, award-winning type of promos that they do. I mean, first off, the name is fantastic. Could you imagine going down, you're a guy and you go into the club and you're like, yeah, I play pro baseball. Oh, who do you play for? The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Reds? No, I play for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Oh, that's just beautiful ring. Anyhow, they're hoping to break as many laws as possible in its Florida Man Night this coming baseball season. It's going to be bizarre, like getting a DUI while riding a lawnmower or eating pancakes in the middle of the road to stop traffic. Florida Man, as we all know, is typically used for the story's headlines of a description of various actual people who hail or live in Florida. And as you hear usually on a nightly basis, some of those are absolutely golden. Gold. It's beautiful. That's why we do it every night. And if the game goes into extra innings, we'll see if the Jumbo Shrimp staff have a plan to break additional laws. You know, there will apparently be a lawyer in the house. Last year, or make that June 2016, the Jumbo Shrimp on one of their promo days gave out pregnancy tests on You Might Be the Father Day, which ran ahead of the actual Father's Day. This is fantastic. It makes me want to go check out the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Florida Man Night. Go break a law, get free baseball tickets. It's awesome. The team will attempt to break a weird Florida law every inning during its game on July 26th. Make sure you're there for that. Anyways, we want to point you to in the direction of our news. The SOR Newswire, brought to you by Captain Shirk and Paranoia Magazine, can be found at News 11. Oh, what's that? I almost came out my old station there for some reason. Can be found at spacedoutradio.com by clicking on the News tab. It's what I wanted to say. But yes, we also want to say a big thanks to Augie Nost for coming on in as well. Let's get to the thought of the day. Thought of the day happens every night at this time, where we post a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages and then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's thought of the day is, what's your thoughts on time travel? Have we done it? Will we ever? Let's get to your comments. The Axe, John, says, best so as to not rupture the space-time continuum, David. Caden, I think some have, just not in the way most think, more or less accidental portals or glitch in reality. Heidi, we are all time travelers in just a linear concept anyways. Very overrated. Frank, no significant time travel without significant space travel. The universe will not hold still for you. Oh, so rude. David, it's been proven we all do it now to a minor degree. Look up any interview with Dr. David Lewis Anderson. The one with Hillary Ramo is probably best. AJ states, I believe they have attempted this for at least 100 years and succeeded via Camp Hero. Kevin, so Dave, I see you're enjoying this year's Christmas present. I hope you get as much pleasure receiving it the next time. Oh, that's clever. Dan, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I have trouble believing there's a future or past to travel to. At the same time, I like listening to Corey Good or Randy Kramer talk about their 20 and back stories. Jeff, I don't think it's possible in the physical sense, but most definitely in astral form. Gabe, I believe my government has already done it. Where have they gone? James, as a seasoned time, space, gravity, and consciousness warrior, have to say, are we not all time traveling together into the future? Obviously. Kelly, I believe it's possible. I just don't know if we have accomplished it yet or not, or if we could travel to our past or future. Maybe it's just travel between an infinite number of realities. Maybe there is one out there that we could find. Uncle Dale and his power stash. I sure hope not. as a species, we're very clever, but not very smart. First thing we'd do is weaponize it, and then we would have to have time wars, and that would no doubt be the end of us. Brian, we have and continue to time travel. The real question is, will the general public get to time travel? Joe's Maine, I have all the answers you are seeking about time travel. Meet me here last Thursday at noon, and I will tell you all about it. Very nice. Very nice. That's where we're going to leave it right there. We will get to the thought of the day tomorrow night with a brand new question. I'll think about that one in the morning when I post it on Twitter and Facebook. But we also want to give a big shout out once again to Augie Nost for coming on, talking time travel, consciousness, reverse aging, astral travel, and so much. What an entertaining show. Absolutely entertaining show. I hope you had a good time with that, much like I did. Tomorrow night on the program, we have Mike Morin from Haunted Crew of Canada, Morgan Knudsen from Haunted Hospitals and Paranormal 911. Yes, it is time for Ghosts of the Great White North. We're going to take a lot of your questions as well, so come hang out with us because it's going to be a lot of fun. We do that one every third Wednesday of the month. Remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific, before Spaced Out Radio, a couple hours before, I'm going to go on the air with Rich Giordano, and we are going to debate Bob Lazar. So Rich is part of Goof On Radio, which can be found on YouTube, because I believe Bob Lazar is real. Rich, not so much. It's going to be an old-fashioned cage match, and not with those big square bars, those big blue ones. We're talking the good fencing going on there. It's going to be like the old days when Randy Savage beat Tito Santana in the cage for the Intercontinental Championship. That's what we're talking about. Giordano, you're going down. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern at UFON Radio on YouTube. All right. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everyone listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, wherever you may be. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for tuning us in. We appreciate you doing your part to make us bigger and better every single night. Because together, my friends, say it with me. Don't make a mistake. We're watching. We own the night. I will talk to you in 21 hours from now. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.